False Creek, a sparkling jewel in the heart of Vancouver, home to the bustle of Granville Island, as well as marinas, parkland, and housing, and traveling along its entire rim, the seawall. In order to understand False Creek's transformation, you only have to look back in history about 100 years.
There's a picture of a pulp mill, early 1900s, just at the foot of the Cambie Bridge, and you can see the smoke just belching up into the air. You know, they just needed to mill the wood. They didn't worry about what happened to the air. They made a huge mess. The water was filled with toxins. You know, all the chemicals from the pulp mills, you know, dioxins, they all ended up in the water because nobody cared in those days.
Not only that, a huge portion of the creek from Clark Drive west to today's waterline was filled in and developed. Hundreds of small waterways that used to spill into False Creek were covered over, and gradually the fish that used to flourish there disappeared. But now they're coming back.
We do have salmonids in here.
These people are assessing the health of False Creek by counting what's living in it.
Yeah.
They're specifically trying to determine whether the habitat island designed to attract local wildlife near the newly constructed Olympic Village is doing its job.
Today we were at Habitat Island and we were doing a presence-absence study of fish using that habitat. We have a large beach seine and we just put that in and just drag it up to the beach, take the fish out into water and count them in the buckets, break them down into species.
This is a Chinook fry.
And also measure them all, and then we re-release them. From doing it last year, the numbers have increased.
The most dramatic evidence that once again there are fish living in False Creek came in the spring of 2010, when a large gray whale swam right into these waters, much to the amazement of people on the walkway outside the TELUS World of Science.
Woo! The tail's so big.
Feet,
now look at that guy.
Oh,
yeah! Sick.
Oh, I got it!
I got it too!
Biologists believe the whale was attracted by the return of herring for the first time in many decades. Local advocacy groups like the False Creek Watershed Society believe it's not so simple.
I have a sense that if we make them come back to a home that is clean and healthy and vibrant for them, they will. If we're working to make the creek a better place, then animals will come back, big and small. That whale came back maybe because yes, there's food, but why is there food? Maybe because we're letting the life live here again. So if we keep doing that, we may keep seeing more whales. Hard to know.
So what changed to bring fish and even whales back to False Creek? Economics played a large role.
And this was an area that had shipyards, but we stopped building ships. It was an area that had sawmills, and they moved to the Fraser River, and so this was an abandoned area with lots of problems left behind in terms of contaminated soil and you name it. And the city was faced with the challenge of what to do with such a crucial area in the heart of the city.
What followed was the birth of Granville Island and the complete transformation of these former industrial lands. The recently completed Olympic Village and the small portion of undeveloped land at the northeastern tip of Yaletown complete the picture.
It's nearly finished. It's after 25 years just about done. So we're coming to a conclusion of a very exciting period in the city's history, and it's the right time to ask, not just about the water, but about the development, the park space and everything else, and see where we'd like to take it. We know where we were 100 years ago and it's been through dramatic changes. Where should we be in the next 100 years? And can we use this area to the benefit of more people in a more sustainable way?
It's perhaps the rebirth of wildlife that will become the final piece of the puzzle in the transformation of False Creek.